What is up, legends? We are back, and happy day because we are at 70 account rank, and I want to talk a little bit about what happens at 70 because the game gets really fun. This is my fourth time. The Scion Alpha, Scion Beta, the Scion Live, and then now Global 70. It's like you have won 280 times. Think about that for a second. And one time I went to 80 in the beta. I'm done with all that. So my Scion account is just going to be for reference because I could just come in and you guys know how it is in this game. You could just come in, steamroll some stuff, do your dailies, and then be out. So that's what I'm going to do in Scion. I'm not going to really do much beyond that. The way that I had stopped 2 months ago in Scion, like when you see my Scion account when I'm showing characters, that's literally like where I stopped at 2 months ago. I actually have enough stamina items and recharges to probably go to account level 80. Like that's how much is stacked up, but I don't really have an interest in that because I literally caught it already in global. So there's no point in that. And once you get to 70, we'll talk about that because it's a thing that happens. So
I'm always here.
Happy day. Let's use Holder as an example. Now, what ends up happening is that from 70 on, it starts to become really grindy for stamina per EXP. What you need to actually go from each level, you could do it, but it's noticeably more, which makes recharges less and less useful to your currency. Like it's for the most part just stamina manage. If we're being honest, I know that sounds boring and everything else, but we're going to get more and more things that are going to be outside quality of life things that will take less and less on your stamina. And you also are going to notice that we're going to start going into a content cycle that's similar to how Nikkei's content cycle is, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So the first thing that happens really once you get to rank 70 is you get your characters to 80 leveling wise. It costs a lot to actually do that. This is where you start to notice the grind. I'm right here why you only have 2 characters right here because I have other characters that are limit broken. As you see, that's easy.
What's up? I'm here.
That's actually not hard to actually do. But excuse me, getting the stamina, right? Getting the EXP is a different thing. It starts to cost a lot. You start to be looking around like, damn, where could I get like my EXP from? But the cool thing is you're not going to be doing this for a long time after. Like once this is done, the character's done. When it comes to like getting any type of EXP for the character, they're going to be there for a long time. At that point, skills are going to be there at a long time unless you get a transcend, which Holders are probably going to get transcend, so we're going to be able to go up a little bit like that. Your access key actually stops at account level 60, so you don't actually need to do this anymore either. So that's 3 things off the table now for stamina on the character that goes down the line. Here is where you should probably start focusing on putting things in a proper order. I don't do that until this point because I really don't care. At this point, I just want to get it to right here and then go back and start doing all types of this. In fact, the game tells you at the top of the screen, recommended for late game, meaning like if you like level 40 or 30 or something like that, don't go crazy trying to do all this. You don't really have to. I mean, if you want to, by all means, but you're going to have more than enough time and more than enough stamina starting at account level 70 to just knock all this out as the best way as you want to see fit. In fact, sometimes in events, you're going to notice that characters will come with stuff outside of what the recommended says because they're like in some type of build that the game wants you to pay attention to for said content, which is one of the reasons why I found the Burning Scarab build that I'm going to put on Holder, and it's not what the game tells you to actually do, like right here. So I'm going to swap all of this out and change it into the Burning Scarab. Like you see, I literally have the Scarab waiting right there. I'm going to change it out into that for the build and have some fun. Because it'll make her turn to an explode build on top of what she normally does, which addresses one of her weaknesses, because one of her weaknesses is pursuit and AoE. And that's what makes her fall behind in the fight, where you have to play perfectly, which I'm fine with that because I find that fun, in my opinion, which is why I use her as a carry until I get other characters that come along, like Hades and Taigi and Hera. Hera is soon, not like next week or something like that, but Hera is going to be coming soon. And Hera's a buffer, so I'm going to put her together with Hera and Sakura, and that's going to be fun. And then take out Shinri and put her together with both the Osirises, and that's going to be fun. That and this is the stuff that, you know, I've done before already in the past. I know that, like, the interesting thing about it, in fact, the events actually show you a glimpse of it. Speaking of the event, so now that you know pretty much what happens right here, well, essentially, once you start going down the line, characters don't progress anymore after that. Like, you're gonna get your perfect stats that you can possibly get on this, or you can go outside of that and start putting stats where you want to. Like, if you find, like, say, this is up to you, that whatever you want to do. See, like with me, with what I did with Shinri, which all of this is going to change, because this is just where I got these individual things. So I'm going to fix it now for the late, start taking stuff out and start giving it to other people and start rotating gear, because essentially what happens is you don't necessarily have to break down the gear or just give it away. You can hand-me-down it to the next characters, because you're going to need between 9 to 12 characters anyway. So you just essentially go ahead and start changing over. That's just the way I do it. This is just for me to get to a certain point, and then I start focusing. But one of the things I did with this is because if you can't see for the most of the time, and you're starting to get hit with stuff, and you know you're not going to be using Poseidon. Poseidon makes the game easy, basically. When I'm talking about this Poseidon, like, so if you are getting hit by stuff and you are just not good with the dodges or something else like that, or you just want to make it so that you don't have to think, basically, and just survive in the fight and just worry about DPS, Poseidon is you just going to win, because she's just going to heal you through everything. However, if you don't want to use her and you need your characters to live, you can go with something else. You can go with the Dodge Cat, which you saw me do in the last video with Dark Osiris, where every time you dodge, you heal. So what I essentially start doing is start fishing the dodge, and it becomes really good as far as being like a spot healer, so you can not put Poseidon out there. And then she also has Fountain of Youth that'll give her some HP every 10 seconds as well. It's not much, but it's enough over the course of time, along with the dodge, to make sure that you maybe will live through stuff so you can get your 3 stars. It's up to you. Or you could just, play perfectly all the time, which is not feasible, especially if you don't know what the fight is. So, but this is a training wheel. This is absolutely a training wheel. You don't have to do this. And even with this one, she still out damages everybody, which is just what her job is, because she has pursuit speed. Her walk speed is faster than most people, and her attacks actually track and go faster towards other characters than most people, which is one of the reasons that make her such a good character speed wise. But it also makes the game a little bit too easy, which in my opinion makes it a lot less fun. So what I do is besides Dark Osiris, I don't control the other melee characters in the game, because it's not that fun to me. Dark Osiris is fun to me because she has a mechanic, which Tyr is also similar, because that's also fun. But Tyr is more tedious than Dark Osiris. Dark Osiris is pretty simple when it comes to that. But she has juggle mechanics that is extremely fun. It's like playing the fighting game that I showed you guys last video. A lot of people was like, oh, I didn't know she was like that. It's fun, in my opinion. She hits for less DPS, but it's not less DPS. I mean, not much less DPS than Shinri. But she's just a more fun character to actually use, and definitely more flashy. She got the sword wings and everything else, and like she's kind of like she's a more technical aspect of a character. So, speaking on the whole event cycle, so from here on out, when you're at account level 70, you really technically don't need to be any higher than that. I'm not telling you don't like stop leveling. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when the events come in, they're going to give you base characters at 80, basically, and they're going to be like free characters that you can use for the course of the event. And then there's going to become a point where the game says, no more free characters. Use your team. So at that point, you can use your 80s and stuff like that. It's only content slightly higher than this. This slightly. And I'm actually gonna do this. So what'll happen? Drink a little coffee because my throat is bad today. What'll happen is like you'll get a choice here. And when you get to pick your character, it'll be blank. But when you pick your characters, you're gonna know that there's template characters there, and it's gonna be like, okay, recommended level like 80, you know, so on, so forth. And they're gonna tell you, or show you 3 characters basically, or maybe 4. I think it's 4, all 80s, and they're gonna be like min-max characters that you could pick for the fight. And you can actually look at the characters to see where your character's at. For the most part, you're going to end up stronger eventually than those characters, but they min-max them pretty well. And that's the event cycle going forward once we get to the Dark Osiris. Like, they're just going to give you template stuff and bring in side stories that's going to actually allow us to get more stamina, more items, and more currency to actually be able to farm and stuff like this, which is actually pretty good. So we're gonna go ahead in here. See how well this runs, because my computer's been on for a long time. I got Street Fighter 6 going on in the background, so this might not be a good idea. I should cut that off because I'm not even doing anything. I was talking to people and the battle hub. So the reason why I use a holder, which she's gonna lose her spot eventually. Obviously, it's a Hades and Tai, but she's a technical range character. She's not meant to out DPS people. What she's meant to do is precision attack and give you the opportunity to see everything and control fights, basically. Which is why she doesn't, like, you know, she's not meant for a mass a DPS. She just makes stuff easy to see, like that type of stuff. So I could just come in and then use my nuke properly. She doesn't attack as fast as everybody else because she has to sit up and line up stuff, but it allows you to just basically not take any damage and obliterate everything, as well as see the fight. So if I do happen to lose the other 2 characters, it doesn't matter because I'm going to basically be able to skill my way and kill things and still have enough damage to actually kill things. And also, once I do this, I'm going to be content locked. There's still stuff to do, obviously, grinding and all of that, but there's no more stages until 4 days from now. It'll be all of the challenge stuff that will reset.
I will allow you to choose how you die.
Okay, lady.
Get on your knees and beg for my forgiveness.
No.
Remain here forever.
Wide range. Scanning.
You're not going anywhere.
It's also good just to be able to see. She's not ready to break yet. Now she is.
We can win. Here's my answer.
1 million? Nah.
Bun 3. Fire.
100k. 1 million damage? Close.
Go, my children. Go and have your fill.
My tarot reading. I can get even stronger.
Oh, it's dead already. I like this song too. Did I not hit that thing? Really?
It's done.
You're not going anywhere.
Lenny, dodge that.
All right, we have all our specialists ready.
I can get even stronger.
She might be dead next break.
Here's my answer. Bum tree, fire.
Gonna be close. Yep, dead. And that's probably gonna be
Was I?
content
Was
lock.
I helpful?
So, what do I have? Yep, content lock. So now all I have left to do now is just to go back in 100%, whatever I didn't on 100%. Until 4 days from now, where I believe we're at chapter 10, which is cool. And there's no reason for me to stamina refresh at this point because it's already done all of the stages, unless I'm trying to prove something or something like that. So I'll just let it naturally regen and come back later and see what's good. But we're good right now. That we're good. Once you're at this point, this is where the game becomes relaxing. You come in for like an hour, do what you got to do, manage your stamina, and then come back later, do all the challenges. The challenges usually don't take that long. This is where you can test yourself and see how far you can go in the challenges. The one challenge, the first one only goes up to 8. You can start doing the reoccurrences and stuff like that. Make sure you get all your cat dungeon done because that's just like kind of like free currency and it's not too stressful. It's just basically running around the map and opening up whatever puzzles that you need, and you're just kind of like relaxing and getting to the point. This is, again, all of this is kind of interesting and fun to me. One of the reasons why I rush to it. There's people actually faster than me. There's somebody like at 77 right now, and they messaged me. It was like, oh, you played Scion, and that was the first message that they said. I started laughing. And they obviously they're wailing because in order to do that faster than me at where I was just using my my 10 refreshes a day, which I should really have like 20k in currency, but that's where all my currency went right now because I haven't been summoning. If I was summoning more, my holder would probably be Omega because she probably would have came out more.
This won't do.
But it's fine.
You'll catch a cold sleeping here.
It's fine. And yeah, that's all we got. So this is a good point. This is what happens when you reach account level 70. It gets really fun. And I hope people stick around long enough to actually do that so you can start hitting the fun cycle. So here's the other interesting thing that I reiterated a little bit too in earlier videos, but I'm going to say it now. Officially, if you be dedicated, I'll say that's a good word for it, and disciplined, what you could do is you can get every character in the game freely if you're disciplined enough to actually do it the way that I'm doing it, way that I did in Scion, and it works the same way in Street Fighter Duel in China. You only need one copy of the character, and as long as you religiously keep yourself to that, every character that comes up banner wise in this game, trust me, you're gonna watch me do it because I know somebody always gonna come in. What that you could do, like they just gonna, like, I haven't leveled close to 300 times in this game. I don't think anybody else has done more than me to know this. But I could be wrong. Maybe Chaotic has done this as much as I have because he plays Asian games too, and he probably been in the first 3 betas as well to know the same thing. You can get every character in this game freely. Like you don't even have to spend over $100 to do that. You don't have to actually spend $8 to actually do that if you don't want to. And here's how you do it. What you have to do is you have to make sure that whenever the banner character is, that when you get one, you get out. You just get out. Like when I got Shinri, I got out at that point. This is one of the characters that you get, Raha and everything. I got Raha twice actually, and stuff like this. But here's the thing that traps you, which will not allow you to do it so easily. You have to get the weapons for them. Well, you don't have to, but if you want the maximum damage, then you need to actually, you know, summon a little bit on this and get the weapons. In the future, they actually give us, you know, some of these, and so you can actually try and then maybe get the 4 stars. The 4-star stuff is actually good enough, but you technically don't need the 5-star stuff. Like, you can just beat everything in the game without it. That's what I did in Scion. Like, I only had one character, period, like ever, have the 5-star at Scion, because I just never cared about this. I just always cared about the characters, and that allowed me to just pick up everything after a while, because the game gives you enough currency to actually do so. The events, the reoccurring events, and then they start to add in the side story events as well to continue to keep giving you currency, and then like tower events and stuff like that to challenge yourself and get higher in power, where the meta characters come in. That's literally like the only place the meta characters actually super matter, is where they start to stress test you a little bit with DPS and stuff like that. Just those particular instances right there. Everything else, content wise, you don't need the meta characters. You can do it with anybody. With that said, if you do that, what ends up happening is, like, say like with Shinri right now, I got Shinri, I'm not bothering anymore. I used all my stuff now. I use my currency on my account power, so I'm at 70. So the event is not going to scale past me, because the event doesn't go any higher than 80. And by the time the event comes, I'm going to have 3 or 4 characters. Plus, you get the free characters that I mentioned before. So you're good. You're good. So now when Dark Osiris comes, I'm probably going to have around 12K, maybe 13, 14K. So I'll basically be able to go straight to the pity. Plus whatever the event gives you. The event essentially gives you like 30 summons. Basically, that's what they'd average. They give you 30 summons. So essentially, by the time I get to this event, let's just say 12K. That 60 summons plus the 30 plus that the event is going to give you, as long as you're doing all the stuff in the event, that's 90 summons. So I'm at least going to get the 50-50 at that point. And you're probably going to get the character. As soon as I get Dark Osiris once, I'm out, and I go back to saving, or go after maybe the weapon or something like that. What that does is, free to play, the casual, allow you to get every single character in the game. I do that in Street Fighter Duel, as you guys see on my channel, or you guys see every time that the event comes every 2 weeks. Your boy got currency. He be like, oh, I'm getting that character. As soon as the character come through, then I be out. Go back to doing the same thing over again. This game is the same exact way. It's the same exact way. And what ends up happening is, in the trading zone, they give you opportunities, whether it be it randomly right here, and also in other places that open up, to slowly build the characters over time, basically. So it's up to you. That's just my advice, because I found that works, and it just allowed me to get everything without having to actually spend anything. I never spent anything in Scion, and then whenever a character came through, I would just sit there and grind a little bit, you know, use my currency, and then get the character. Like, I'm gonna do that with Tai. Like, I'm gonna force her out basically freely. I did the same thing with Dark Osiris. I did the same thing with the other characters that I was actually there to pay attention to and get. And when I get Tai, I'm out. I'm gonna go do something else. So up to you. But you're gonna watch me do it. So don't just take my word for it. Just watch me in the coming weeks, in the coming months, because I'm always gonna play this game the same way that I played it in Scion. Whether I do like a bunch of videos on it, which I probably won't, but I probably will be active in the game and strong, and like in game, and probably one of the strongest people in the game without spending $1 million on it. You don't have to. This game is very nice when it comes to that, and I just hope everybody gives it a shot. So catch you guys next video. Peace, and see you soon. Thank you, Legends, for getting to the end of the video. We do 3 to 4 videos every day. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be first in notification squad. I love everybody who stops by, and I will see you next video. Peace.